Hi, I'm Brandon. I love Hallmark Christmas movies.
I'm Brian. I like Hallmark Christmas movies.
I'm Dan, and I despise Hallmark Christmas movies. And this is the
Deck the Hallmark podcast.
Deck the Hallmark, it's his podcast. Brandon and friends host his podcast. We hope you like this jolly podcast.
We're here again.
Here we are.
Happy Saturday to everybody.
At least the 50th episode of the week.
Could be.
Yeah, could be. Could be.
Yeah. Good to be
But
here,
we're
though.
caught up.
It is good.
We are caught up. We're all caught up. Got me feeling it. Caught up. Christmas movies here. Got me feeling twisted.
Got it. It's good. Good
you.
stuff.
Brian.
Yes.
How are you feeling about what we've done this week? Good?
I feel good about most
Give us
of
a
it.
grade. Give us a grade.
Oh, B+, easy.
B+?
Oh, yeah. I think.
Couldn't scratch an
No.
A- there.
What would we have
This
done?
week
gonna
has
lie.
had more guests than any other week on the calendar,
Yeah.
and you're saying it's the guests that brought us down.
Oh, let's not.
So you're saying
put
Dave
words
White
on my mouth there.
and
Those might have been the bright spots.
Ryan
of the week.
Popola.
No, the guests were great this week. We had a lot of fun.
V.
That was this week.
Yeah, that was
Holy
this week.
cow.
That was last
Maybe
week.
it wasn't A-.
That was last
I don't
week.
even
Oh,
remember.
that was Holiday
okay.
Hotline. That was last week.
All
That was
right,
last
all
week.
right, That's
Yeah,
what
yeah.
I thought.
Calm
So,
down.
I don't know. We probably said a few things about what we might be doing this weekend
Oh,
that
yeah.
aren't happening.
The parade's not happening tonight,
Parade's not
everybody.
happening
The parade's
today,
not
so-
happening tonight.
That brought us
We
down.
We dropped the ball there.
exciting,
We had
then
our
we-
heads down all week.
Unless the weather's
Yeah.
cleared up and we,
I'm pretty sure they announced it on the news.
We apologize. Apparently, we should have known about that yesterday, but we still talked about it. So that's
weird.
on me.
It's weird.
And I apologize. But
Apologies all
weather
around.
is what it is.
Yeah.
You know, I hate that for
So if we offended you, we're sorry.
We hate that. We hate that. B+, I think, is fair.
Thank you.
We're talking about Our Christmas Mural today, guys. Are you ready to dive in?
Yeah.
Our
Born
Christmas
ready.
Mural originally aired on November 26, 2023. And it went a little something like this. The movie kicks off with, you guessed it, a Christmas mural.
Oh.
What?
Olivia is a painter and a curator. Her boss is Benjamin Ayers. Get your hands in the Ayers.
It's really good.
And he calls her into his office. The grant was not renewed. He doesn't know what next year looks like. Now, he's not firing her. He's just encouraging to go ahead and start looking for a job. You know, ample time to kick off that job search. Just being a buddy, being a buddy. Her and her son Parker packed the car, Christmas mural in tow, to head to her parents' house for Christmas time, which is great. She's walking around town and she sees that there is a mural contest going on. The guy that's running it encourages her to submit a piece, but she's like, nah, I'm not going to do that. She bumps into another artist named Will, who is buying all the paint, is not willing to give her any of the paint. He's a bit of a snob, giving her the business.
Right. I was waiting for you to say it.
She shows up for the ceremony to see who wins the mural contest. Artists got to support artists, you know what I mean? And it turns out she wins. Apparently, her mom submitted a piece on her behalf. Will is the runner-up. Womp womp. Her prize is that she gets to paint whatever she wants to on the side of a building in town. Pretty cool. Will shows up and is like, hey, I just kind of wanted to see what I was missing out on. I've never seen a side of a building before. Pretty cool building. Good luck with this. Turns out Will is an art therapist. One of the reasons why he was buying all that paint is because he helps kids. So I bet you feel pretty bad now, don't you? And that's actually good news because Parker, her son, actually should probably be in therapy because he's been having a tough time ever since his dad passed away. Will's dad also passed away when he was a kid. And so he offers to meet with Parker. And when he sees that Olivia is a bit overwhelmed with the mural, he also offers to help with that too.
What a guy.
What a
I mean,
guy.
unbelievable.
He's just offering things left and right. They start hanging out a lot, and with and without Parker. He decorates the studio for Christmas. Her mom is really pushing for Will to come over for dinner, and even invites him over for dinner without asking her at all. They spend some solo time outside by the fire, and she talks about how the two are going to be heading back to New York City. And he leans in close and he's like, yeah, There's nothing to stay here for, huh?
You decided to not stare at one.
Oh, sorry. I was staring at Brian. I was staring at Brian. That's on me. So, I guess there's nothing to stay for. And that's when they kiss. They kiss, and she pulls away. She runs inside, and she falls asleep holding a picture of her dead husband. We've all been there. She talks with her mom about being a little bit overbearing and explains that leaving New York makes her feel like she would be 1, failing as a mom, 2, failing as a wife, 3, failing as an artist. Mom encourages her to, 1, you're a great mom. 2, he's dead. And 3,
The candy.
And also, D,
New York.
art is not only in New York City. Did you know that?
I'm going to go with See the Candy.
It is See the Candy. The next day, she asks Parker how he would feel about moving here, and he is all in. He's pumped about this idea. This kid hates New York. It's time for the mural unveiling. She goes up to do thank yous and whatnot and asks Will to come up because he did a lot of the work as well. And she announces that she's going to be opening up a studio in town.
Studio.
Yeah. They unveil the mural. It's cute. Then she tells Will that she is ready to fall in love, 1, and 2, she is 1, ready to fall in love, and 2, falling in love with him and see the candy. She then hands him a brush.
Gotta be seen, right?
It's got to be See the Candy.
And tells him, hey, look over there at that mural. We're sitting over there. There's an empty chair right next to us. Want to paint yourself into our picture? He says, yeah, and they kiss good ones. They decorate cookies with Parker, and they kiss behind his back, but in a way in which so that he can see it. It's cool. And that, my friends, was our Christmas mural.
We did it.
The candy is correct.
Thank you.
On all
Candy's
fronts.
good. I'm glad.
We're going to take a quick break. We're going to come back. We're going to break this movie down with 4 segments plus a Vic Webster here on Deck the Hallmark. Saturday edition. Well, hello. Welcome back, everybody. We're talking about Our Christmas Mural, the final movie for us that aired during the Thanksgiving week. We're finally getting to it. It's great to be here today on a Saturday. What a day, a rainy day here in Yaddo, Greenville. But it doesn't make Yaddo, Greenville any less special. So much to love around here.
This is living.
You
this is
kidding
Greenville.
me?
Dude, when it's raining outside, there's all kinds of fun things.
So much fun stuff.
Oh,
What's your favorite rainy day
We go
activity?
to M. Judson's down there on Main.
Yeah.
Christmas tree still looks great in the rain. We go out to the Big Air, which is the trampoline park.
Yeah.
Group therapy downtown.
Got a great children's museum in town that we like to check
Museum's
out.
wonderful. Group therapy, you can go. There's a bar, also like all kinds of fun stuff. You can play all kinds of like
Indoor mini
games.
putt-putt.
All kinds of fun stuff there. Right there on Main
decorated.
Street.
Lots to do. Visit
Right by
Greenville.
Jenny's Ice Cream. So, I mean, you know.
Come on, forget about it. Let's talk about our
Speaking of which, and they're not a sponsor, there's a local ice cream place in town, Claire's Creamery, and they just released their Christmas ice cream flavors. And one of them is the peppermint hot chocolate ice cream.
It is.
If you're living in Greenville, you need to go to Claire's and get
a 200 square mile radius, probably.
You need to go get at least a scoop or 6 of the peppermint hot chocolate ice cream. It'll change your life. And you went with the peppermint crunch.
I went with the peppermint crunch.
We took our families together.
Dan and I were together.
Oh, this is...
And I said, Dan, do you think the Christmas flavors are out yet? And he said, let me find out. So he's chatting with them. They don't have a phone
They don't
number.
have a phone, so you can chat with them. Yeah.
And they said, yes, we do have the flavors.
And
what
I said, perfect, thanks.
Right.
And that was the end of the conversation.
But that's not what I wanted.
Families and we took them.
That's not what I wanted you to say.
You were right beside me,
Yes.
and you said, please respond to them that we are standing, or we're clapping.
We're standing and clapping
We're
at that
standing and
response.
clapping. We're so excited. And I was like, no. And he was like, why wouldn't you do that? And I said, 1, I'm not standing or clapping.
But I was.
And 2, perfect thanks is the rational thing to say.
But my argument was like, you should always try to figure out a way to respond that would make someone's day.
Okay.
Or respond
always.
as often as possible.
And then we got ice cream. I don't see what the big deal is.
Did you tell them when you got there that you applauded?
Yeah, Brand, did you?
I actually didn't. I kind of forgot about the whole
all right.
situation.
Why don't you chat them?
Sounds like this is all on you.
I'll chat with them.
Great.
But now, anybody out there, find Claire's on the Google and just chat with them.
But also go get the
about
peppermint
anything you
hot
want,
chocolate
really.
ice cream.
They're there for
Do
you.
you like the peppermint crunch better?
Love the peppermint crunch.
How long do they have this ice cream?
I think for the next
Probably
2 weeks.
through the
So I
holiday
got some
season.
time here.
You still have time.
I've never tried it.
Oh my gosh.
Sounds like I need to.
I like it better than any peppermint milkshake or Frosty. I'll say that.
Whoa. That's a big statement.
It's a big.
What are we doing
it's a
getting
big
peppermint
statement.
shakes every day?
Well, let's
Who
get.
would get peppermint shakes every day? That's
No.
crazy. We would not.
That's reckless.
Put a company credit card down for
Took a few days
peppermint shakes
Took a
every
few
day.
days off. Took a few days.
Insane.
Let's
Saved on a
get.
technicality there.
Let's talk about our Christmas mural. Let's get to the hot take.
Sure.
We share exactly how we felt about this movie. We do not hold back. The hot take. And Brian, let's start with you. Brian, what'd you think about our Christmas mural?
Yeah, I really like this premise for a movie. An uninspired artist.
Classic.
being-
I really like this premise.
I really like this premise. You're selected for like a major painting project, and you're just not into it. It could be anything. You could be like an architect, and you're like any occupation where you got to be creative or you got to excel at something, and you're like blocked creatively. I was really excited to see how the mural turned out in this movie. Like the whole time leading up, it was sort of like, yeah, let's get to the mural. I got to see this thing, and I'd say she's no master of light, but it came out pretty good. Like I was happy with what she did there. Clearly not enough mural though. Like they saved it to the very end, and we barely
Mural's
got.
in the title.
I mean,
You gotta bring the mural,
more mural.
you know?
Hashtag more
Yeah.
mural. And obviously, I could have used a little more painting process
Of course,
along
yeah,
the way.
of course.
No, again, not super Christmassy. Like throughout, I felt like there was more dead dad talk than Christmas talk and Christmas celebration. There was a lot of that. It obviously should have been named A Wellington Christmas, not Our Christmas Mural. Like Our Christmas Mural, just the name is so boring.
Yeah.
But A Wellington Christmas, which they say that's the name of the mural. I feel like that's a great movie title. And Cody, a true hustler, Cody Miller, the community events guy, a true hustler in every sense of the word, left a date to host an event, just out there hustling.
It's too much hustle, I would say.
He's hurting
Too much
himself.
hustle.
It's too much hustle for someone good. So I actually really like this movie.
See the hustler of the week?
Cody Miller, Hustler of the Week.
Wow.
Absolutely.
You heard it here
Ring the bell.
first,
Ding, ding,
guys.
ding. Yeah, absolutely.
Cody Miller.
Yep. He earned this one.
Cody Miller. Hustler of the week.
Okay.
That last clap, though, was for Claire's.
We were sitting down, though.
We're sitting down.
We should let them. There we
Watch
go.
it on
There we go.
Philo.tv/DTH.
Claire, you earned it.
It's gotten out of hand around here.
So that's where I stand.
Yeah, I think my big takeaway from this movie is of the movies we've watched this year where there's been a love declaration at the end of it. This one was the one that I was just felt the most like you don't need to say, like, you don't need to start with love. Like when you tell someone that you like them, you don't have to start with love. I want to let everyone know that you don't have to start with I love you, because she went within a 24-hour time frame, went from I'm a failure to I love you. And that's like a lot to work through.
That's right.
And maybe just be like, hey, I'd be willing to just like continue to hang out, kind of see where this goes. You don't have to say I'm ready for love and I think I'm loving you. That's a lot. Overall, just an okay for me. Again, to Brian's point, when the title is Our Christmas Mural, you got a large
slog,
hill to climb up. This movie was a bit of a slog for me. It's gonna end up probably towards the bottom for me, but it was fine.
The idea
Not
of
enough
this
Christmas.
being worse than Letters to Santa is a riot.
It is an unequivocal fact.
It's not a fact. It's a fact. Whatever
It's
that
an
is.
unequivocal fact.
Yeah, it isn't.
For me.
The good news
For you.
the good news for you, Our Christmas Mural stands out there is that in the kickoff episode, I believe, I had this in my bottom three, least anticipated, whatever we do there. I don't know. And it did not crack that list in my actual list. It is at least 3 or 4 out of that list. I had it just above everything Christmas. This is what I call losing one to the schedule. I think at some point you're going to have a movie that is got the generic Hallmark trappings, big city girl back to her hometown, meets the guy that stayed there, falls in love, moves back to the hometown. So you got that. You got the fact that this is movie number close to 30 that we've watched, so we're really in the doldrums. This is like tough at this point. Like we've watched. This was our 11th of 11 movies to watch this week, so that isn't good. I thought the two leads were fine. They work well together. I also want to give Hallmark props for taking the generic plot line and adding some moral complexity to it. Instead of her coming home and just going, I realize I like party planning better than big business. Instead of doing that, which is what they did in the 20-teens, she has this monologue where she's like, if I go to New York for art and I don't become an artist, then I'm a failure. I have a kid. Like, I'm listing all of these things in my head. It's not as simple as small town yay. And I appreciate that. Could it have been in a more entertaining package? Yes, it could have. The movie needed to be more about the mural if you're going to call it Our Christmas Mural. Absolutely. Boring at times? You betcha. Not good at all. But they did do a couple things that made me happy that it wasn't just super duper generic like it would have been 10 years ago. So there you have it.
Boring at times? You betcha.
You betcha.
Put it on the box.
Put it on the box. That's right. Boring. Still better than Letters to Santa. And I think we can all agree on that.
100%.
Any sane-minded person can agree with that.
Yep.
In fact, never mind. I won't do that because that would be really mean. I'll save it. I'll save it. I'm going to save it. I'll tell you off air. No, if it was to you, I would have said it.
Bank it.
Bank it.
It's time for all the feels. We were talking about when this movie gives us feels.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, there was a very small moment that turned into something they used to be a bigger part of the story. But there was a point where her dad cleaned the studio for her, and she walked in, and she's, I think it was her, just in a passing comment said, yeah, it looks like my dad cleaned the studio. And I was like, that stood out to me immediately. I'm like, that dad is struggling. Like, he's going through it. He's retired. He doesn't know what to do with himself. He did this great thing for his daughter. What a guy. And then later on, so that was my feels when that happened. And then later on, you find out he is struggling. He's going to help in every way he can. And so it became sort of a bigger part. It wasn't just a small little thing. But that gave me feels, realizing this guy finally, he had a little project to work on. He put his heart into it. He's got his daughter coming home. Hopefully that all works out. His grandson is going to be around. And so just the dad situation in general was a good feels for me.
I thought Parker was great and adorable and just cute as could be. And obviously they wanted this to be a feels, and it was a feels for me when he at the end is like, he's excited to be moving here, and he drops the thing that he's been holding the whole time as like the comfort thing for him. Great moment. And Parker crushed in this movie. Shout out to Parker.
There's so many what's involved with the art therapy of it all in this movie, but the fact that you get to see some breakthrough and some intentionality with like meeting someone where they are, and the way that Dan Jeanot's character does that with the kid, I thought was fine. Thought that was pretty good. That's all I got.
So you would say yes.
Jeanot?
Yes.
We're going to take a quick break. We'll be right back.
Candy.
Welcome back, ninjas. How are you? Hopefully you're doing well. We're talking about Our Christmas Mural. Did you guys know that Rig paints on the side?
What?
Does he?
For therapy reasons?
That is unbelievable.
Or just for fun?
I don't know. I don't know enough about this. I walked in on him the other day. He was painting.
Really?
Yeah.
Had a smock on and everything?
Yeah. Whole
The
smock.
whole deal.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's unbelievable too, because all I wear is an apron when I paint.
Yeah, I did.
Well,
I did.
left that
How
part.
long
I
have
had
you been
sign on the
painting?
door, caution, nude painter.
How long have you been painting?
Oh, years. I only use oil-based and lead-based paint.
That's smart. It's probably easy to find.
I find that lead-based paint has a pleasing aroma.
Kids love it too.
Yeah.
So
and you've been doing that in here?
I stripped down to nothing, and I put on my apron.
Is there any...
Kiss the brush apron.
Yep.
And I paint with the lead.
What is the... I don't like it. The more I think about it, though, the less I like it. Is there some sort of artistic, advantage to painting nude?
Yeah, I studied at a very particular school that
What was
focused my pants.
I'm out. No. We're not doing that today. This movie's too important.
Thank you, Brad.
It's time for the way what is what we're talking
You
about.
brought up Rick.
I know.
He didn't just pop in.
I know, but he's been painting, so I just felt like if
that
that
was true. That's
It
true.
felt relevant.
Brian, wait, what?
Yeah.
So anything in this movie made you go, wait, what?
A few things. Wellington Hardware, it seems they have their own line of branded paint gallons
Yeah.
in the store.
It's a small town hardware store,
Tiny
people.
little, it's not
Yeah.
even like an Ace Hardware, like
No.
Wellington Hardware.
No, it's just a one-off.
And they got, so maybe they just have them printed and slap them on like bear
Yeah.
paint or something, but that seems really expensive. The mural process in general was just really weird. At first, I was so relieved when I realized they're painting inside, because I thought starting out, oh no, we're doing this outside,
Doing it outside on
30-degree
the brick.
weather.
Yes, yeah.
Oh boy, this is going to be brutal. And they didn't. So what a relief that was. But just, she has to do all the prep. She's hanging up the 2x4s for the framing. Like, she seems to be doing a whole lot of work. Out of pocket, I assume. Her dad's
And this was
fixing
her
up the studio.
prize.
Yeah, she won the opportunity to do this.
To do this for free
Yeah.
for the city of Wellington.
Yeah. So I was
Cool.
just like, that's just so much. They seem to let just anybody enter the contest. What you should restrict it to residents only. If it's gonna be like a town
Yeah.
pride thing.
Yeah.
She shows up from New York City the day of the judgment and submits.
She puts her parents put a
parents put it
submission in.
Sure.
The day before they announced the winner.
So I mean, maybe it is residents only, and they skirted the rules a little bit there
But
because
still,
the
you're
mom
still
did it.
taking submissions 12 hours
Yes.
before you're announcing the winner?
So it was just.
That morning, even
It was
worse.
submitted that morning. You're
Oh
right.
my
Her
gosh.
painting. And so I just feel like that's just, you should not be doing it. It's just not fair. There was this quote, Brand. I think this hopefully upset you as much as it upset me. She said to her mom, "I'm an adult woman. I don't need a glass of milk." Offensive. I love drinking milk. Like, there's nothing wrong with that.
Shove off.
Yeah, shove off, mom. And she was brutal, that mom.
She was.
Was it? Check.
BetterHelp.com.
Exactly. That's
Hallmark.
why it's here.
Hey, therapist, you won't believe what mom said this time. She said she tried to give me milk. What?
Chekhov's rifle principle, we all know this.
Yeah,
right?
gun-
It's
yeah,
like a
Che-
narrative
Chekhov's
principle.
gun. I
So
don't
you
think-
show a gun, you better fire that gun.
Yeah.
You show me a
Tie you
baby
down.
grand piano in one scene. You better play that with the
piano.
family gathered round.
That's right.
They were all eating dinner together, and right framed perfectly behind them was a baby grand, the music book already open.
Just for show.
Just for show that nobody gathered around. I thought we were going to get a sing-along, and we didn't. I'm like, you just don't. What's the point of having a piano in the scene? Yeah, that's it. That was it for me.
Yeah, we touched on it briefly just now, but artists charge serious money for side of the wall murals. So to make people enter a contest where the prize is that they get to do that, no artist that should be painting the side of a wall is going to enter that contest.
Nope.
Because they're going to charge too much money. So either you're going to get a bunch of like us paintings and be like, dude, wouldn't it be a funny
Oh,
bit
no.
if we win and we get
Yes.
to paint the outside of this city wall?
like a smiley
That'd be
face.
hilarious.
Yep.
So they really lucked out with her.
They did. Sure.
They
Yeah.
really lucked out. At one point, we're at Will's. Was it Will, the guy?
I don't know.
So his art class, and he's talking through. They're all painting Rudolph.
Yep.
And at one point he says, if the nose isn't red, it's not Rudolph. It's some other nameless reindeer. I mean, I could think of 8 other reindeer.
First of all, how dare you?
I can think of 8 other reindeer names that don't have red noses. Could be one of them. Maybe
could
I
be
made an
his.
artistic choice.
That's right.
Maybe I wanted to paint Prancer. Could have been any of them.
Could have been any of them.
She's talking. It's like the night before the mural reveal, and I think it's her mom is like, "Are you ready for it?" And she's like, "Yeah, I'm hoping to knock it out tomorrow morning before the unveiling."
Yeah.
I
Sure,
hope so, man.
I hope so.
Like, I
Hope so.
Fingers crossed.
You're finishing that sucker up the morning of? That's wild. And last but not least, like if you're gonna have this wall mural, like take up the whole wall. Like I think it's now weirder to have just like this small, like all the wall murals I've seen take up the whole wall, and it's like
Yes.
this amazing thing.
It's just- it's
this
not a
is just
mural,
like
it's
this
just a
little
painting. Right. Yeah.
little stinker
It's
on
an
the
installation.
side. A little disappointing. I was hoping we'd get the full nice wall. No, we did not. But what can
not
you
a
do,
little bit.
Dano?
Brian mentioned the hardware store, but neglected to inform you that this local hardware store with its own paint also has 3 full aisles of art supplies. So this is not Ace. This is not Home Depot. This is a local hardware store that has 3 aisles.
Is it just an art store?
It's transforming into
it's
an
a hardware
store.
And here's the thing is right behind aisle 8 there is a whole wall of candles. Like, I don't think they know what hardware store means.
They know their customer.
Because I saw no hardware store stuff anywhere. I saw a lot of art supplies and candles. Different store. That might be Michael's. That might not be a local hardware
Wellington
store.
Crafts.
I'm going to tell you a line of dialogue in this movie, then I'm going to tell you who said it. The line, trivia night is literally the only thing on my social calendar. The person that said it, the director of communication and recreational services in the town.
Hustler of the week.
This guy's job is to plan recreational social events.
Yeah.
And the only one on his calendar is trivia night that he doesn't plan.
I think he just doesn't use a calendar.
You think that's for the guy that's the director of communication and recreational services?
Yeah.
He also says that line, then turns around to the girl and goes, "Oh, are you going to go to the winter walk? Everybody goes to the winter walk. Not you. It's not on your calendar."
Not on his calendar.
No. Is Dan Janot a public school teacher that is also a licensed art therapist that is also holding free classes over Christmas break? He is not a human being.
Contender for Hustler of the Week.
He is not a human being. A licensed art therapist, public school, because he can't charge for those classes in the public school. He can't.
Right.
That would be a conflict of interest.
It's a resume builder.
He's giving free art lessons to kids on his Christmas break while he's also a licensed art therapist. And while he's doing all that, he's also making out with one of his clients' moms. You want to talk about some trauma? Your therapist making out with your mom. That's trauma. That is some, like, you're going to be unpacking that for years to come. It's
Luckily your new dad's your therapist.
That's
so
right.
you can
So
talk
even
through
better.
that.
so easy.
Oh, no. I did feel like the continual setting up of these two by the family seemed very aggressive to me. Like, it was more than just the casual, I'm going to let you two talk and go in the other room. It was like every scene was like, why don't you guys get to know each other? Oh, look at that. You said, hey, or look at blah, 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 or I think he likes you. I just felt like it was very, very aggressive. And then also I couldn't believe the entire town has one art teacher. This town seems too big for everyone K to 12 to take just art from one teacher. I don't think mathematically
He's the hustler of the week, though.
that works at
and
all.
running.
And that's all I got.
It's time for what the hallmarks were. You wonder what could have been. Maybe having given some clarity to the questions that we still have. What do you got?
This works out great.
You over there.
Yeah, hey, you.
What do you got?
I had a feeling yours was going to be one of mine. So I
I mean,
have two. It's a brand.
has to
It's a
be.
classic brand with
Okay,
the Hallmark. So I'm
thanks.
going to go with my first one. The mural contest. I was so confused by how they ran this because I thought that if you're in a mural contest, that multiple people are going to draw murals, like maybe small versions, and you're going to pick the mural that wins the contest. So you're going to have one wall, 5 or 6 murals. No, like you submit a drawing and you get to paint the mural and they have no say over what you're going to draw. You don't know what you're getting. Like, it's all like a very secretive process.
It's a hodgepodge beluga.
Like, it would have
is
been
what
way
it is.
more fun if you had 6 murals to decorate your downtown.
Yeah.
So I was just like, what the heck? Like, why did they do it this way? I didn't like
He's
the
still
way.
figure it out. Maybe it'll be better next year.
Yeah.
He's
the
Cody will
hustler.
figure it out. He'll figure it out.
We'll get there.
It's Cody. That's his
Cody
name.
Miller.
Cody Miller is talking to Will.
This is so good.
About how things are kind of going, because he's noticed that he's been talking to what's her name, the girl, and it's like she brought Parker by. We did some art therapy, and that was good. And he's like, sounds like it was a pretty good first date. And Will says, I mean, it was art therapy. I wouldn't consider it a date. And he says that wouldn't even make the top 5 weirdest dates I've ever been on.
Cody.
What?
Cody.
What is Cody's story, man?
You're gonna need a little more.
That is a wild thing to say. Weirder than going to art therapy?
That's a weird
with
date.
like your mom?
Yeah,
Like
that's
there's
a
a mom
weird date.
That's a weird date. A weird date. All right, bud.
Good talk. You got a lot of weird ones
What
out there.
is your story,
Yeah,
man?
no kidding.
Dano?
So this one's kind of a feels as well, and I forgot it. I saw it at the bottom of my notes here. Hallmark's starting to really do a lot of cameos. We saw Wes Brown and Rachel Boston at Biltmore. We've seen a bunch of cameos since really last year. Benjamin Ayers has a scene in this movie where he gets to play the boss that is firing our leading lady. He's so great. Like, you normally get a very generic, just Canadian to deliver those lines with some sort of furrowed brow, and you move along, and it's a forgettable. It's almost designed to be forgettable. Benjamin Ayers is like playing a character here, and he does an amazing job. Yeah. Like, it's heartfelt. I like, the scene kind of blew me away because I was like, this scene shouldn't be this good. Yeah. It's way better than it needs to be. I just want to know the backstory, and I'm sure we could text him. We know old Benny, and I feel like he could give us the insight of, did he go, hey, I don't want to just show up. Can I actually like move the plot forward? Or did they write this and go, well, we've got this role. Can you step in and do it? But it was maybe my favorite cameo from an acting perspective because he got to like flex his acting chops. Yeah. And that was fun. And I enjoyed that. So there you go.
It's a good one.
Yeah.
Were there any fights?
Yeah, that's the
question.
we're all wondering
Listen,
about.
Nothing causes more friction and fistfights than the art community. And so it would make sense that there would be one here. But let's find out. Vic Webster is going to let us know if there's a fighting chance with Vic Webster.
Fighting chance with Vic Webster. A fighting chance with Vic Webster. Was the fighting in the movie? Did someone get hurt? It's a fighting chance with Vic Webster. A fighting chance with Vic Webster. A fighting chance with Vic Webster. Vic Webster!
Oh, there was some action in this movie. Correction. Reactions. It's not quite the same.
A fighting chance with Vic Webster. Vic Webster!
I love it.
He's getting snarky.
I'm gonna be sad when the season's over. Can I be honest?
Me too.
I'm already getting sad. I'm getting pre-sad about it.
Me too. That's how I get about Christmas. But
Yeah.
I feel that now you know what it's like. We'll be back tomorrow. Patrick will be here. We're gonna be breaking down a Lifetime movie. Until then, maybe the first to wish you a Merry Christmas.
Deck the Hallmark's a Bramble Jam podcast is produced by Aaron Shea. For more information on Deck the Hallmark, you can go to deckthehallmark.com. For more information on the Deck the Hallmark family, you can go to bramblejamplus.com. Deck the Hallmark is presented by Philo TV. For a free trial of Philo, go to philo.tv/DTH.